Michael Jordan has become one of the most talked about players in the last 10 years, and is usually due to negative things that's being said by by this current wave of media. For as much as Michael Jordan has done for the NBA and sports in general, one would think that a lot of these guys would be a little bit more grateful, frankly, but instead they've used Jordan as a way to kind of give LeBron James some significance, because whenever we talk about Michael Jordan, they always try to bring up LeBron James, right? So they've kind of attached LeBron to his name. And in order for them to kind of make it seem like LeBron is on the same level of Michael Jordan, they end up downplaying a lot of other NBA greats just to kind of uplift LeBron. That's kind of been the pattern, right?
If you've been following the NBA over the last few years, you've probably noticed something interesting. Every time the conversation turns to Michael Jordan, it doesn't take long before LeBron James gets brought into the discussion. Whether it's television debates, sports podcasts, or social media, the two legends are constantly compared. Now, comparing great players is nothing new. Sports fans have always enjoyed debating who the greatest of all time really is. But recently, many fans believe those comparisons have gone beyond basketball and entered the territory of rewriting history. That's exactly why Colin Cowherd's recent comments created such a massive reaction across the NBA community.
And over the years, you've seen various people try to trash Michael Jordan, like Shannon Sharpe, Nick Wright, and even Colin Cowherd in the past, right? But what he did yesterday has a lot of NBA fans very, very, very upset, and they're calling him out. Colin decided to go on his show yesterday and essentially say that LeBron James is a mentally tougher player than Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan quit basketball. That because it became too hard for him, and that's why he ran away. Meanwhile, LeBron James kept on playing, so therefore LeBron is a mentally tougher person. And a lot of NBA fans around the world are like, wait a minute, Colin.
During his show, Cowherd argued that LeBron James is mentally tougher than Michael Jordan. His reasoning was simple. Jordan stepped away from basketball after 9 seasons because the pressure became too much, while LeBron has continued playing into his 4th decade in the league despite constant criticism, nonstop media attention, and the pressures of the social media era. At first glance, some people may think that's a reasonable argument. After all, LeBron has played for more than 20 years under an intense spotlight that has never really faded. Every game is analyzed, every interview becomes a headline, and every mistake spreads instantly across social media. Few athletes in history have experienced that level of scrutiny for such a long period.
You're downplaying Jordan's death, that's number one, because that's the reason he retired the first time. You don't mention that whatsoever. And you're doing all of this just to uplift LeBron James. And in the process of this, you're trashing Michael Jordan's legacy and distorting it because you're not informing NBA fans of what truly happened. So what we want to do is we want to play what Colin Cowherd had to say in the show yesterday, and then we're going to come back to some of the reaction. Take a listen to Colin Cowherd's comments here.
Think about this. Michael Jordan played for 9 years and said, I need a break, it's too much. Michael Jordan famously hides in his hotel room. 9 years, I'm going to play baseball. This is overwhelming. LeBron's like, year 24, bring it on.
But here's where the controversy began. Many NBA fans immediately pointed out that Cowherd's comparison ignored one of the biggest moments of Michael Jordan's life. Jordan's first retirement in 1993 didn't happen in a vacuum. It came shortly after the tragic death of his father, James Jordan. Losing someone who was not only his father, but also his closest supporter had a profound impact on him. Jordan himself has spoken over the years about how emotionally devastating that period was. For many fans, leaving out that context changes the entire conversation.
Think about that. 24 years with all these platforms, more access, more coverage. It's established now. When Michael first got into the league, it wasn't global. Michael helped make it global. It's been global day one with LeBron. More hate, more vitriol, more access, more coverage. MJ, after 9 years, I'm out. I'm going to go hit some baseballs. 24 years in a row. Bring it on. I'm here. So, listen, he's going to drive reportedly $450 million of business into the Philadelphia economy. Who needs a data center? Just acquire LeBron.
Instead of presenting Jordan's retirement as the result of overwhelming personal tragedy, critics felt the comments suggested that he simply quit because basketball became difficult. That's a very different narrative, and many people viewed it as unfair. As soon as those comments spread online, basketball fans flooded social media with reactions. Some argued that Jordan's retirement cannot be separated from the emotional trauma he experienced. Others believe comparing mental toughness across completely different generations doesn't make much sense because the circumstances surrounding each player's career are unique. Another common point raised was that Jordan accomplished an incredible amount before his first retirement. By the end of his initial 9 seasons, he had already established himself as one of basketball's biggest stars, won multiple championships, earned league MVP honors, and transformed the NBA into a truly global brand.
You heard what Colin had to say. Now, I want to show you just how bad this thing got, because the place that I got these comments from, it's not even an NBA account. It's Complex Sports, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's Complex Sports and Complex. Let me just go through some of the comments here. One person said, anything to discredit Michael Jordan. Right under that, one person wrote, Jordan was overwhelmed because of trauma. Besides, stop comparing players from different generations. Think about it. Jordan would probably have had a longer career if he started in the 2000s. I'm not saying better or worse, just longer. Let's go to the next slide.
Supporters of Jordan argue that his legacy was already secure long before the second half of his career even began. On the other side of the debate, LeBron supporters believe his longevity deserves enormous respect. Playing elite basketball for more than 2 decades is almost unheard of. Remaining healthy, adapting to changing styles of play, competing against multiple generations of players, and continuing to perform at an all-NBA level requires incredible discipline. LeBron has survived constant criticism throughout his career. Every finals loss, every playoff exit, every free agency decision, and nearly every interview has generated endless debate. Many believe that handling that level of attention year after year is itself a sign of tremendous mental strength. This is where the discussion becomes interesting.
Colin Cowherd cannot be serious. He cannot even be serious. He's talking about LeBron is mentally the same LeBron James we have seen on TV multiple times, crying over missed calls, crying, having an emotional breakdown in the middle of games, crying on his knees over missed calls. If he's so mentally tough, what happened in the 2011 finals collapse? When did that happen to Michael Jordan? What about being accused by his own former team owner of quitting on his teams? What about being so mentally weak that he ends up kicking out NBA fans in games, and he set the new trend for players to now kick out fans out of games?
What exactly is mental toughness? Is it measured by how long someone continues playing? Is it determined by how someone responds to personal tragedy? Is it about handling criticism? Or is it about performing under pressure when championships are on the line? The truth is that mental toughness can mean different things depending on who's defining it. Some fans view Jordan's willingness to return after experiencing unimaginable loss as evidence of extraordinary resilience. Walking away temporarily to process grief, then returning to win 3 more championships, speaks volumes about his character in their eyes. Others point to LeBron's remarkable consistency over 2 decades, arguing that remaining motivated while carrying enormous expectations every single season requires a different, but equally impressive type of mental strength. Both viewpoints have legitimate arguments. Where many critics disagreed with Cowherd wasn't necessarily his praise of LeBron.
Like, what are we talking about here? LeBron is playing this long because he's in love with the spot. He is enamored with fame and loves the spotlight. That's why he's still playing. He's so mentally tough that he has to send his agent out every single day to prop him up in his podcast. Huh? Do you see Michael Jordan's agent with a podcast doing shows? Huh? When we saw Michael Jordan cry was because his father was passing. And meanwhile, we watched LeBron James cry over missed calls. And you're doing this why? MJ did so much for basketball. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
Instead, they objected to the idea that praising one player required diminishing another. That's become a recurring criticism of modern sports media. Rather than celebrating greatness independently, many television debates rely on creating conflict. Jordan versus LeBron generates clicks. It creates arguments. It fuels social media discussions. And because of that, every new comparison quickly becomes another chapter in the never-ending GOAT debate. Some fans have grown tired of that formula. They argue that Jordan's accomplishments should be appreciated without constantly comparing them to LeBron's, just as LeBron's career should be evaluated on its own merits. Both players dominated different eras under completely different circumstances. Jordan played during an era many fans describe as more physical, where defensive rules allowed significantly more contact. The media landscape was also very different. While television coverage was extensive, there was no Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or 24-hour social media cycle waiting to dissect every moment. LeBron entered the NBA just as digital media exploded. His entire career has unfolded online. Every game generates thousands of highlights within minutes. Every post-game interview becomes content. Fans debate his legacy daily across multiple platforms. That's a level of exposure Jordan never experienced. At the same time, Jordan carried pressures that younger generations may not fully appreciate. He became the face of the NBA during a period when basketball was rapidly expanding across the globe. Every championship increased expectations. Every playoff series was viewed through the lens of whether he could deliver another title. Both players experienced extraordinary pressure. It simply came in different forms. Another reason this debate became so emotional is because Jordan remains a deeply respected figure among basketball fans. For many people, he represents competitive excellence. His relentless drive, his perfect finals record, and his impact on basketball culture have made him more than just another superstar. So when comments appear to overlook major moments in his life, fans naturally react strongly. Likewise, LeBron has built one of the most remarkable careers professional sports has ever seen. He's broken scoring records, reached countless finals, won championships with multiple franchises, and maintained elite production well into his late 30s and beyond. Whether someone believes he's the greatest player ever or not, his longevity is undeniably historic. Perhaps that's the biggest lesson from this controversy. Greatness doesn't have to come at someone else's expense. You can admire LeBron's durability without dismissing Jordan's accomplishments. You can respect Jordan's competitive legacy while recognizing the unprecedented challenges LeBron has faced throughout the social media era. Sports debates are fun because there are rarely perfect answers. But context matters. Historical events matter. Personal circumstances matter. When discussing legendary athletes, especially moments involving tragedy, presenting the full picture creates a more meaningful conversation. That's ultimately why Cowherd's comments generated such a powerful response. It wasn't simply because he praised LeBron. It was because many viewers believe the comparison left out crucial context surrounding Jordan's first retirement, making the conclusion feel incomplete. Whether you agree with Cowherd or not, one thing is certain. The Jordan versus LeBron debate isn't ending anytime soon. Every new record, every interview, every opinion from a television analyst adds another layer to a discussion that has lasted for years. And perhaps that's fitting. After all, we're talking about two players whose careers have shaped basketball in different generations. One inspired millions by helping elevate the NBA into a global phenomenon. The other has spent more than 2 decades redefining longevity while thriving under constant public attention. Fans will continue choosing sides. Analysts will continue debating. Social media will continue reacting. But if these conversations are going to continue, they're at their best when they're built on complete context rather than selective comparisons. Because in the end, appreciating basketball history doesn't require rewriting it.